Might not have been quite.
Gunberg from Fort Lauderdale, a little better at golf than Greenberg from Bleecker Street. Up the block. All right. Great night, great day in sports in so many different ways yesterday. Delighted you're with us as we get up with you here. It's Rex and Shefty and Alex and D. Wood. And we start at the end of Sunday night. We had the Steelers and the Packers, this highly anticipated game. Aaron Rodgers against his former team. You don't need me to tell you he played 18 brilliant seasons in Green Bay. You also don't need me to tell you the uniforms in this game last night were just atrocious. Unrecognizable. All right, they're all friends. Here we go. Rodgers early, DK Metcalf. Alex, it starts out looking pretty good.
Yeah, this Pittsburgh Steelers offense was doing their thing, had a great mix of run and pass. You can see they're taking advantage of the one-on-one matchup on the outside.
And then here's a weird moment. So it's third quarter, it's 16-7 Pittsburgh. Rodgers thinks he's got a free play, and the ball is incomplete. D. Wood, they do not throw a flag here. Does he have a right to be mad?
Absolutely. I mean, how many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers do this over his career? Like, that absolutely is a flag.
Turned the game around in so many ways, because from that point forward, it just goes all this way. It all goes the way of Tucker Kraft. What a performance from the tight end last night.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. And this guy, quite honestly, if he's not the best tight end in football, he's in the conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
7 catches, 143 yards, 59 of them on that play. It leads to this on a second and goal. This is Savion Williams in for the score. Now it's 16-14, and the Packers are coming back. And then 35 seconds left in the third quarter. Alex, how would you describe the defense here?
Non-existent. Apparently you can just heave the ball down the middle.
Oh, my God.
Heave it down the middle.
Oh, my God.
Nobody's going to make a play.
The guy looked like a T-ball center fielder back there, misjudging that.
We switch sides, but it's the same drive. This is early fourth. Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown hits for Rex.
8 in a row.
Packers take the lead. And then, D. Wood, Micah Parsons takes over.
Yeah, listen, this is why you go out here and you trade for a guy like Micah Parsons. Just think about, like, what a luxury when you can just rush 4 people and get there, get home.
And then another luxury, Alex, is to have a tight end like this.
Yeah, Rex hit it on the head. This guy was one of the better players on the field last night. Maybe Micah was the best player. Again, not a household name necessarily, but soon enough.
We need to headbutt him.
Yeah,
2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers can only watch and look glum as his team is skidding, and he loses to his former team and his former mentee. So the game that goes in, it's all about Aaron. Coming out, it's all about Jordan Love. 360 yards passing, a QBR 50 points higher than Rodgers. At one point, Love completed 20 straight passes, tying the longest streak in a game in Packers history with Brett Favre, who did it almost 20 years ago. As for his mentor, here was Rodgers after the loss.
We can't beat ourselves. I think in the 3 losses, there's been times we've had opportunities and we've hurt ourselves with turnovers or just negative plays. So we gotta cut those out. We gotta get on the same page on offense and defense and keep the faith.
Did your starting quarterback prove anything new tonight in how he played?
He's him. He's him. Everybody in the league, if y'all not whooped, please wake up, get the crust out your eyes, because he is him and 10 is coming. Period.
So Rex began the morning by getting the crust out of his eyes.
And I'm doing better now.
And D. Wood began the morning by saying what about Jordan Love and the Packers?
If Jordan Love is going to play like that, the Green Bay Packers are going to find themselves in Santa Clara in February. You know, the one thing we talked about with Jordan Love is sometimes it's Jekyll and Hyde with him. First half of the season, you know, it's kind of unpredictable. Then the second half of the season, he's playing like an MVP. Well, last night he looked like an MVP type of quarterback. And with all that young talent that the Green Bay Packers have on both sides of the ball, man, if the quarterback plays like this, they're going to be very, very hard to beat.
Through a quarterback's eyes, Alex, what did you see from Jordan Love last night?
Yeah, it was clinical, right? Like it looked effortless. Like again, I'm not sure Jordan Love broke a sweat yesterday, and yet he completed 20 straight passes and tied Brett Favre, right, through 3 touchdowns. We're talking about him in this nature. But, again, I think this was far more about these 2 football teams, right? Like, I think you could have switched these 2 quarterbacks, and I think Green Bay still would have won by 10. And I don't want to take anything away from Jordan Love because he played phenomenal, but I just mean that's how good this football team is. Again, Tucker Kraft, like, he was dominant, right? Like, these guys trying to tackle him in the secondary, it was embarrassing. And again, this Green Bay defense was suffocating.
And Rex, you used the word unrecognizable to describe the Steelers, and you didn't mean the uniforms, even though they are abhorrent. Really I don't even know what to say about them. But what has happened to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense?
They got old. And I think that's what it
happens that
looks like.
fast.
It looks like it just falls off a cliff. Look, the names look great. Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt,
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey, got all these names and stuff. I mean, you can put Mel Blount in there, Joe Green. Doesn't matter. All of a sudden, the play is stopped. And look, one thing is like yards after catch. When I think of this game, I think, all right, Jordan Love was spectacular, but yards after catch. 244 yards they gave up in this game. So, look, Jordan Love threw for 360 yards. 244 of those yards were after catch. All right, and on the other side, the flip side, 87 yards for Pittsburgh.
Right.
So that's the difference. That's normal. This is not normal. This is a team that's not running to the ball. They have no speed. So when I look at them, I think of a team that lacks speed. Yep. And 22. Goodness gracious!
What's
did
crazy
you
about
stink up the joint? Like that safety back there?
Yeah.
It might as well have been playing with 10. That doesn't help either.
Right.
This is the most expensive defense in football, and we're talking about it like this. And Rex is right. This is the worst pass defense in the NFL, right? And it was clear last night. Again, these were flat routes, right? Like these weren't like some crazy scheme that we're doing
Crazy
here.
concepts,
The one touchdown
right.
pass, he's like, we're just throwing a sweep to our receiver to the left, and he walks in, right? Again, it was uncompetitive on the back end, and then up front, these names like T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward have not been playing and getting the production that we're used to seeing them get.
And Jordan Love was great last night. But guess what? Joe Flacco was great against the Steelers defense
right.
Yep.
last week too. And most people that go up against this defense are great. And when the Pittsburgh Steelers lose a home game like that on a day where the Baltimore Ravens win, and now the Baltimore Ravens go into Miami Thursday night, all of a sudden you could see that division shifting. Because Pittsburgh is a flawed roster right now. You're saying it's old. The defense, we know, is shaky. They're not getting it done. They still have to make moves before the trade deadline if they can get that done. The division has a different feel to it this morning, Green.
Yeah, actually, the division feels like Baltimore. We can show it to you. The Ravens are now at ESPN Bet Sportsbook an odds-on favorite to win. For those of you who do not speak gambling, that means they have a better than 50-50 shot, according to the odds, of winning the division.
At 2-5.
2-5.
They've had a great year.
And whose own defense is terrible. But look, they had an unbelievable. Think about no one had a better day than the Ravens did yesterday.
Agreed.
The Steelers lose and look awful doing it. The Bengals lose. The Bengals give up 38 points or 39 points to a Jets team that hadn't scored a meaningful touchdown in over a month. The Browns are unimaginably bad on offense. So it does all of a sudden feel like it has the Red Seas have parted for the Ravens. We'll talk about them as we go. I want to talk about the Green Bay defense.
Yep.
Because the reality is we've talked a lot about the Steeler defense, bad, Jordan Love, good.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons is the best player that was on the field in that game.
Oh, no doubt about it. But in this entire Green Bay front, the front four, the four pass rushers were dominant. Suffocating is what it feels like as a quarterback when a team can rush four and get pressure. And then on the back end, again, they've got 7 in coverage. Everybody's like somebody's getting doubled everywhere. Nobody's open. And then to have that pocket collapse on you, again, it is the worst feeling as a quarterback. And that's what they have going on right now. Again, they sent one blitz yesterday against Aaron Rodgers, and yet pressured, and we're in the backfield.
Hey, Alex,
every
That's
play.
a literal stat. They blitzed. They sent extra people on defense one time, the Packers did, and yet they had pressure on Rodgers the entire night.
So it's funny. Alex talks about like suffocating, right? That's kind of what it feels like as a quarterback. We used to talk about. My dad used to talk about make him pitch it out of a well. So make the quarterback feel like he's got to throw it out of a well. And that's what it was yesterday for Aaron Rodgers. Man, they were all over him. That the inside push collapsed the pocket, and then Micah Parsons on the outside. Look, he's got nowhere to go, guys. I don't care. He's stepping up, older guy, but that pocket was collapsed. Even when he got the ball off, man, he's got to it's got to feel so bad. And that was the first thing I thought of is, ooh, they made him pitch it out of a well.
And
Yeah,
Rex,
man, it's
all
impossible.
is well in Green Bay and all is not well in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think that's a really important point for fans who maybe didn't see the game or don't see it through the eyes that you guys see it. The difference in this game was, and Alex, you said it, but I'll paraphrase it, and D. Wood, you can explain it. The Packers didn't need to send anybody extra, and they got tons of pressure.
Yeah.
The Steelers are trying to dial up all of these blitzes. They're sending all these extra people, which leaves them vulnerable. They're not getting home, and that's why they got dominated. Alex will have a tape on that a little later, but that is the explanation for this game more than anything.
Football is not complicated. It's a numbers game, okay? The less people you have to send, you can just rush 4 people. That's a win for the defense. And that's why this trade of Michael Parsons is so impactful and so important, because one guy literally can take up like 2 and 3 people, leaving everybody else one-on-one. And imagine, as a linebacker or defensive back, knowing that we can all drop back in coverage and the opposing quarterback has no time to really get the ball. In our space, it's just a complete luxury for our defense.
Well, like, look at the players on the back end for Green Bay. These corners, again, they're playing with so much courage and confidence, and it's like
you can jump routes.
They're jumping routes. They're contesting everything. Again, they've got safety help. They've got linebacker help. Like, it is such an advantage to have this up front.
Last night's game did the Steeler defense did the impossible last night. They made a 10-minute conversation about Rodgers versus the Packers have nothing to do with Rodgers. Like, who would have imagined this game would have almost nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers? But at the end of the day, that's sort of what happened last night. Let's do Sunday superlatives going through the entire day. Damian Woody, in your opinion, who had the best performance on yesterday's NFL action?
I'm going to go James Cook. Listen, the Buffalo Bills, coming in off their bye week, and what do? They do what they do best: run the football. James Cook had over 200 yards. To me, this is the formula for the Buffalo Bills moving forward. Run the football with your 2 weapons, James Cook and Josh Allen.
Looky.
There you go.
Carolina had been unbeaten at home. Alex, who made the worst play? What was the worst play you saw yesterday?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Caleb Williams in this pick, backed up in his own end zone. Listen, this was a 3-point football game, right? The Ravens had their backup quarterback. It's 13-16. Like, punting is okay in this situation. You were still going to be in the ball game. This was the defining play of the game. Opened this game up and obviously ended up in a loss. I've been here. I've done this as a young quarterback. You just can't force it here, right? An incompletion is just fine and punt the football.
Rex, that might have been the worst play, but which team gave us the worst performance?
Oh, no question, the Atlanta Falcons. They falconed up. All right, they falconed up. Started with, how did they falcon up? They ran the ball 9 times. Bijan Robinson was one of the best players in the league. Kirk Cousins is not. What are we doing here? You're throwing it all over the place. I tell you what, that defense of Miami is super tough. Going into the game, 32nd in the league. Woo! Very good.
Greeny, as you pointed out, it shows you how the league shifts, because a week ago, everybody wanted Mike McDaniel's head on a platter.
Right.
1 week ago, we're wondering, is he getting fired? Breathlessly up there. Oh, he's going to make it through the day. He's going to make it through the week. Not only is he making it through the week, he's going into Atlanta, and he's beating the Falcons, who were trying to win the NFC South.
I think they just gave him a 2-year extension.
We're rolling on. Speaking of struggling units, the